Oh, okay. Let's see how this one goes. I didn't practice it that much. I'll probably screw it up. But this should really be
waiting.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
So
what? I was on time.
It was just the humor that it was lacking.
Yeah, true. I think Chris likes this song, so we'll see. It should really be at the end of the episode, but it's okay.
He better like it. He's going to slap you.
It's true. All right. That's the song. Yeah. We want to stay just a little bit longer. We want to ramble just a little bit longer. Oh, wow. And if Jack don't mind, and if Matt and Chris don't mind,
I do.
and if we take a little time and we leave it all behind to ramble, cause I want you ramble just a little bit longer. Please, please, please say you will, say you will.
I like that song too.
I love that
your
song,
best.
actually.
That might be your best one ever.
Maybe the
I'll tell you
sweetest
that
version.
the loadout / stay is probably one of my all-time favorite consecutive songs on a album, I would say. But it's just such a good song. He's actually touring with James Taylor this summer. Jackson Browne.
I'd be afraid to go see that.
Why? Oh, because they're old as fuck.
Because I would go to
You
sleep.
afraid one would die
Just got that.
on
Because
stage?
you go to sleep. Because I mean, like I both love James Taylor and Jackson Browne, but like you're saying, like because most of their songs are fairly mellow, and so it's just
Sure.
kind of like. You need a
But
lot
he
of
still
uppers.
puts on a hell of a show, man. Like he plays every.
No, that's Jackson. Yeah.
I haven't been able to go to it because James Taylor does a show at Tanglewood, which is out in like deep Western Mass in the middle of the woods. It's a great venue. It's actually where I saw the Beach Boys for my first ever concert. But he plays a concert there every 4th of July with the Boston Pops, which is actually really, really cool. But it always comes on the 4th of July. So it's like I'm on the Cape, you know, on vacation every year. So unfortunately, I don't get to go see it. But outside of the 4th of July, Jackson Browne's touring with James Taylor this year, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Anyways, it's been like a
I'd
couple
rather-
of weeks since I've seen you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
at least.
we were wondering how you were doing.
I'm good.
That's true. That's right. You weren't here the week before last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Then
had
we
a
took last
whole-
week off.
Well, we took last week off, so it's been like 3 weeks. So
Yeah, work's been busy. It's been crazy, but
You're here today.
I am.
did you know that the emoji for the waving hand and the slapping hand are the same?
Oh, so he was
go ahead.
waving.
Just go
So
ahead and put it in here.
maybe Will Smith should have waved.
Well, Will Johnson is actually in the chat.
Oh, hey, Will Johnson, how are you?
He is.
Thanks for
Wow,
joining
Will
us.
Johnson.
So,
First time, long time.
What did Five Fingers say to the face?
Slap.
Yeah, so let's just get that off our chest real quick. Fucking, what's up, Will Smith?
Well, I wasn't watching. I don't watch the Oscars.
I watched it live. It was awkward as fuck.
And I was about ready. I was about ready to go to sleep, and I see a tweet from, which didn't make any sense, from Chris. Whoa! And I put
It was in true Jack
Touchdown.
fashion.
exactly.
It
I'm
was
like, oh wait, I get crap for my tweets, and here's whoa what? So I put whoa Nelly, and just for I see this Will Smith. I go, okay, what did Will Smith do? And I go, and then you guys can take from there. And I go,
Yeah.
oh wow.
It was real awkward, man. Like I was watching that live, and thankfully my daughter had gone to bed already, but she was watching it with me. I'm glad that she missed that. She woke up the next day. She's like, "Can I watch the rest of the Oscars?" I'm like, "No, you can't. You definitely can't do that." But yeah, it was awkward. So I mean, I don't think anyone needs to have a recap. I think everyone is probably bored of the story
Googled it.
already. But
heard and read everybody else's opinions on it.
of course.
So,
I have no problem sharing my opinion, as you all know. But I'll tell you that Like, dude, like, keep your shit to yourselves. Like, you know, that did not need to make it on TV. That did not need to make it in front of the entire Academy. It did not need to make it in front of the entire world on a TV screen. Like,
especially when you laughed at the joke.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the deal. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, it's hard to tell how that all transpired, right? Because he was telling jokes that were funny, and then he cracked a joke about Jada. And I can understand perhaps Will didn't like settle with him yet. He didn't like get the joke until a couple seconds later, and he got pissed.
Yeah.
So I understand the whole laughing first and like reacting second, but regardless, like there's something wrong there, right? Like I think this is a clear example that, number one, open relationships not healthy. Number two, nor is Scientology, and everyone can confirm or deny whether or not he was a Scientologist, but it's been pretty clear. There's something wrong there.
Yeah. I've thought that for over 20 years because I remember distinctly.
Wait, is he a Scientologist too?
Yeah,
it's like it's rumored. Jada is, and they
because I remember there was a press junket or whatever for Ali. You know, that was what 20 years exactly I think ago, and
which was a boring movie.
I like Ali.
I mean, boring as fuck.
I said my opinion was, how can a man who was so exciting and so entertaining be? They made it just so boring. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, like, and I always think they've always had an unhealthy relationship, you know, and because I remembered Jada sitting in, because she did have a bit role in the movie, but I remember like they do, like when you have like the poster behind you, it's like you two sitting there and the interviewers aren't in front of you. And I remembered that was the moment that I went, wow, like Jada's kind of mean. Because it was one of those where like Will was talking and she constantly belittled Will like the entire time they were interviewing him. Yeah. And I was like, wow, like this is kind of weird for your wife to say this. Shit, I froze. But like I was like, I just thought it was odd. I mean, then I was 21 years old. I was like, this is kind of odd for a wife to kind of be like knocking your husband and his, not really knocking his movie, but she was knocking him like, oh, you weren't that good at acting. You know, I outshine. It was like, it was kind of like playful, but it was also kind of mean spirited.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what a lot of people have said is like, you see him laughing and then Jada over there looking all pissed. And then it cuts away. And so you wonder like what happened in that 5 seconds between the cutaway and him walking up.
Well, I sent it to you. It's Execute Order 66.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Execute Order Slappy Slap.
Yeah. I mean,
I think what happens is you can see Chris Rock sees something because he goes, it was as nice as I've been, or something like that. He said something. You could tell that she was upset about something because Chris Rock said something.
Yeah, that was a hit. It was a nice one. That was a reaction to the look on Jada's face, I believe.
Yeah.
But then it really escalated pretty quickly. He went from fucking 0 to slap in the face real quick.
Yeah. I mean, they've been friends for over 25 years or 20, at least 20, and he probably thought like, oh, no big deal. You know, we're close, and then just something. I don't know. I can't.
So I really want to know this, and I kind of feel like it's interesting because apparently they've known each other for a while. I don't think they're friends. Like, I think there's been some bad blood there, but like they know each other enough, right? So I almost wonder that, like, did Chris Rock? First of all, he has to know that Jada Pinkett Smith has alopecia.
He said he did. He said he didn't.
Well, but here's the thing. I think that's bullshit.
Right.
Like, because I think everybody in the
I didn't know,
but
I didn't know.
I knew.
I mean, but I'm also not in Hollywood. Right. Like
but you're also not friends with the Smiths, or you don't associate with the Smiths, right? So it's like
I associate with the Joneses, but that's just me.
But here's the thing. I think that he was out there riffing, right? Because that wasn't a scripted joke. That was out him just going out there and like
I think he was riffing. Yeah.
And I think he looked at her, saw the short cut. And I honestly don't think I do think he knows about it. I don't think he intended to be making a joke of her because of her condition. I honestly think that he probably got out there and told the joke from like a visual reaction to see her in the front row with really short hair. Mm-hmm. Like that's my opinion of it. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. But I don't know if you guys have listened to or not. But if you haven't, you should check it out. But of all fucking people, Jim Carrey has probably the sanest fucking like reaction to this whole thing and how
really
was calling out Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
I was going to bring this back around for Jack's favorite topic.
But it was a great response. But then people are pointing out that when Jim Carrey won an award, I forget what award show it was. Alicia Silverstone was like 21 at the time or 20 at the time. And he goes up there and just kisses her, and she's kind of like trying to push away. So they're like going, "Okay, Jim, what about you?"
Yeah. Well, that's fair.
So,
fair criticism.
I think there's something though that we all kind of do where we condense time into one thing, and it's just like, okay, Jim Carrey as he is now is more smarter and mature than he was then, and that we're not allowing for people to say like, oh, I've grown as a person and I realized that my habits back then were completely inappropriate.
But that's not the way the world works anymore.
Okay, and to come back to Chris Rock and just for a moment the comedian aspect, as someone who has put his foot in his mouth way too many times and almost gotten my ass kicked multiple times for saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. And I think we've all had a couple of those moments where we're like, ooh,
take that one back.
Shit, I didn't put that math together until now.
I do that daily.
And but on a public stage though. So I think that perhaps as Chris was pointing out, like maybe the math didn't go quite through Chris Rock's head when he's like saying something because he's seeing something, but he's not thinking, boom, oh, she has
because he's extremely quick-witted.
Yeah.
But if Will Smith had said, you know what, I don't have to like go up and make a show of it, they could have easily just torched him on social media afterwards and just been like, he's so insensitive, he didn't even think about my wife.
What I said Will Smith should have done is maybe held Jada's hand or gave her a hug. The camera shows that, and now who looks like the jerk?
Well, I mean, it's clear to me. It's clear to me, and apparently to many others, that there is an abusive like history there. And I don't think it's one way. I think it's a reciprocal abusive relationship, because he even said it in his then like rambling of a speech when he got his award, like how art imitates life. Like those actions are those of people who are abusing each other. Like that's not healthy. I'm not a fucking psychologist by any stretch of the imagination, but to see somebody react in that way, like there's some real tough anger.
Well, especially at the Academy Awards, when you are pretty much a shoo-in to get the award, and then you have Hollywood give him. Because I did like what Jim Carrey said on this one. He goes, and then Hollywood gives him a standing ovation.
Sherry would like to know what Jim Carrey actually said.
Oh,
he said a lot.
He did. He said a lot. He was on I think one of the morning shows. I forgot which one it was.
It was with CBS, because Gail, what's her name? She's friends with Oprah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull up maybe the transcript here. I'll see if I can.
It begins with him saying,
"Oh, really?" All right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think Jim said this, but it's one of the most valid points.
We're talking like, Jim.
Yeah, like,
Jim.
Everybody knows Jim.
Last time we talked to him, he had him on the podcast. He was pretty down.
If we had a good producer, he'd be on.
I mean, it was a tasteless joke, and if he would have just yelled something from the crowd or what Jack said, like just give her a hug, no one would have remembered any of it the next day. And that's why, like, I disagreed with both. I felt sorry for both of them because, like, one, it was a tasteless bad joke, but you get over that, and then the fact that Will did that, it's like now. That's what he'll be remembered for. I mean, all the good stuff he's done, that'll be in the top 3 things from now on in his life people will mention.
It will never go away.
Yeah, never.
No, it's there forever. And the worst part about the person I feel worse about, the most bad I feel bad for, is fucking Questlove, dude. Like,
ignored.
Like, fuck, Questlove won a goddamn Oscar, and everybody forgot about it because
he's still in shock.
Yeah. Like,
well, no one's talking about it.
But like, Jesus, dude, like it's just brutal. So like, here's a quote from Jim Carrey. He says, "I was sickened regarding the situation. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless en masse. it really felt like, oh, this is clear indication that we're not in the cool club anymore. And then he goes on to say later on, he doesn't have anything against Will Smith, but he holds him responsible for seizing the Oscar night, blah, blah, blah. It casts a pall over everybody's shining moment last night. And that was actually a good point. Like what Will did, he really he took all the wind out of everyone's sails that night from all the accomplishments they put together.
That people want to talk about.
And there are some fucking accomplishments,
out
dude.
of, like the Ukraine war. It took
a Tuscan Raider won a goddamn Oscar for crying out loud. Like that's awesome. Like, and I haven't seen Coda yet, but I've heard, obviously it's won an award. It's amazing. Like, and everyone I've talked to who has seen the movie Coda, like they say it's incredible. So
I've never even heard of it.
That's the worst part about it, is that we have not talked about anything to do with the Oscars, and this is a clear example of this, of the effect that this has. We haven't talked about the Oscars at all. We've been talking about Will Smith, but there's a ton of performances that were just incredible.
I will say this
is being left in the dust. No, that's it.
It's, that the audience gave Will Smith a standing ovation, but they also laughed at the joke. So who were they applauding? And I, as a bald person, I think, and I always make jokes about it, but it is a touchy. When you lose your hair, when I first my hair was going, I was like, I had a lot going on back then, so I was depressed about a lot of things, but the hair going out sucked. It just sucked. And then people make jokes. I mean, and to be fair, I made jokes all the way. I made the same jokes, but then it hits you, then you go, well, that sucks. And so, but now it doesn't bother me when someone says it, but when I was younger,
I was like, shit, I got some apologies to do.
Yeah.
That is one thing I will never make fun of you about.
Oh, thank you. I don't care anymore. But see,
I've heard
the other guys,
especially for I think not be sex. I don't want to sound sexist here, but for a woman, I think it's even worse. Sure. I mean, she's still attractive. I mean, I wish I looked that good bald,
dude. No doubt. Like I mean, granted, it was for a temporary period of time. Like, but my wife lost her hair. And it was fucking awful. Like it was actually like one of the worst parts about it. Cause I mean, I remember I had to I shaved her head for her, and that was like fucking painful. Yeah. And to see that look upon, a woman's face, I totally empathize with it. Right. Like I can see how that's how that's a big deal. But I'm going back to the point where I can't imagine Chris Rock. Like if he did that intentionally to make fun of her in a joke in which knowingly she has a fucking hair condition, like a alopecia or the autoimmune
alopecia, yeah.
Like if he intentionally made that joke, that's one thing, right? But like the short hairstyle, that's a fucking hairstyle. She wasn't like she actually has or however it was styled. It was like a short hair. Like I mean, it's not an uncommon cut, right? And I can see, like, I can only imagine, like, he's just riffing and he sees her out of the corner of her eye and he immediately associates a joke with it. I feel like that's more of a realistic situation. Like, if he went out there and said, hey, I'm going to make this joke about her because she's got alopecia, that's fucked up. Then he deserves to get punched in the face. Maybe not on stage in front of a live live audience, but behind the stage. Yeah, kick his ass.
That's where Will should have taken.
That's exactly.
But I was going to say, because I always joke that the bald people are the last group that can be made fun of and nobody cares. You saw the audience laugh when it was a big laugh he got from the audience. I said, if she was overweight, would he make a fat joke? No. I said, so it's. I mean, I'm not in for being woke.
I agree with you, Jack, and I'm of the school of thought that he wasn't making a joke because she has a condition. I think he was making a joke because he saw and made a visual connection with somebody who had a short cut, right? And that's why. I mean, maybe I'm a naive, right? But to think that he wasn't, not trying to call her out, but like, oh man. Fuck! Like it's just a shit.
I think it was a shitty joke and a snap judgment call on his part to just kind of like throw that out there.
Bad call.
I mean, because
he comes from the SNL generation where Sinead O'Connor, ripped the Pope on stage. You know what I mean? Like to him, he's like, okay, bald chicks are still not cool.
So, but at the same time, too, you can't let like and you can't let that part of the situation overshadow the fact that there's something fucking wrong with Will Smith. Like, there's something wrong.
I said in the, where they're slapping, there's fire. There's something more going on there.
Yeah.
So
apparently, who was it? Somebody said that, just because of all the articles or comments that have been saying that someone, a friend of his, said that he's had lifelong anger issues, and that was one of his things. Is that one of the reasons why he's always been a nice guy? Like, had that persona is because he kind of lets people run over him, and then but it boils to the top a lot, and that's that's one of those moments where it did.
There's another clip that was
him. I don't know. What?
There was another clip that was going around of him slapping someone with the back of his hand, like he was kind of like shooing him away.
Some guy in the press, he's doing I forget what the movie, but it might have been I Am Legend.
Oh, did he get kissed by somebody?
The guy kept kissing him. He goes, "What are you doing?" And he's kind of smacked him.
That's
walking away.
That's self-defense.
Yeah, to me, I'm like, okay, I don't want anybody kissing me. I don't want I'm that way too. It was like, hey, don't touch me.
So in my deep dive of SNL actors and what have you, and listening to podcasts, it was interesting. Chris Rock talking to Dana Carvey and David Spade. They get into therapy and what their therapists have helped them figure out. And it was interesting because Chris Rock, there is this tough guy part about him, but on the inside, he's actually like this really sweet and loving and gentle person. Whereas Dana Carvey,
for being mistaken for Chris Tucker,
whereas Dana Carvey's almost like the opposite, where he's so passive aggressive and comes off as being nice, but on the inside, he's got a lot of rage and anger. So they talked about that duality,
I feel like we talked about this. You might have talked about it after. Shit, did I freeze? I feel like we talked about this, but already, but we may have been after we hit stop last 2 weeks ago or something like this. I remember you talking about them being in therapy, because did we also talk about another Jim Carrey talking about that as well? Because that's what comes to mind. I heard.
Yeah, I think I do remember that.
We had a very
Jim
long
Carrey was talking about
2-hour podcast last show that we did, episode 162. This is officially 160.
I just smack you guys to get the show to stop.
You did. You shoved us around virtually. So I can't wait to see you in Raleigh, because I'm going to slap you, and then you can slap me, and we'll have a slap fest.
But did I mention that though? Because Jim Carrey was talking about how his therapist told him how to think about depression, because a lot of comedians suffer from depression, and he was saying I don't like the word depression. I prefer how my therapist calls it. He calls it deep rest, because when you're someone like us, he goes, everyone has melancholy. Everyone has sadness. Like, you break up with your girlfriend, you have a fight, whatever. You're kind of down for a few days. He goes, that's not depression. He goes, depression is basically you've led this avatar or character life persona because you think it makes everyone around you happy. And then all of a sudden your brain just says, I'm done with that for a while. And you just basically shut down for days or weeks at a time. And that's what he says, is don't think of it as a bad thing. He's like, your brain is just doing what it should do. It's healing, saying you can't keep faking this part of you forever. And he goes, that's why I tend to look at it as a good thing, instead of going, oh man, I'm depressed. And he goes, no, I just need this. I need this rest right now. And I was like, oh, I've never heard someone explain it that way. I was like, that's just a different take.
Actors
I do remember you talking about that.
Did I? Okay.
A state of.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially with actors and comedians, especially when you get to a certain level, people. It's the whole thing where they build you up and then they want to tear you back down, and people are leeching off you and stuff like that. Especially with a comedian, a stand-up comedian, where the pressure to perform and be on every single time you go on stage. If you're off, you're going to get booed. So I think there's pressure there, but
it's funny hearing comedians talk about how to deal with hecklers and how they turn things around. And I think the one that I had heard was I don't come to Jack in Box and jerk off in the meal that you prepare or something.
Well, what popped in my brain with all that was, and then I realized it wasn't Chris Rock, it was Dave Chappelle. But Jada Pinkett Smith was out there in the audience during the Nutty Professor, and it's Dave Chappelle heckling the Nutty Professor. And I was like, wow, life imitates art. And then I was like, oh wait, no, it was Dave Chappelle, not Chris Rock. But you can kind of see where similar.
We were talking about Chris, how he handled it. I thought he did a really good job. Because if you watch the steel, when he gets smacked, he goes back. He does have a fist.
Oh yeah.
Yo, he did.
It's like, okay, if you keep coming at me, I'm gonna hit back. Luckily, Will Smith turned around and walked away. But people are just like, it's fake. I go, you just have to look at Chris Rock's reaction and say it's not fake.
No,
because he completely got rattled and was trying to get back on track. Yeah,
he took a hit.
I don't know if I don't know if I would have taken it. I probably would have.
No,
I probably would have gone back and just
I think I probably would have had the same reaction as Chris Rock because like you don't expect it to happen there of all places, because like you're on camera on stage, he's the host, and then just for it like hit him and then walk off, you're like, what the hell just happened?
I remember Beck talking about the Grammys and when Kanye got up and Beck won, like he thought he was like. He saw Kanye get up and start to approach, like the word, and you're in an award ceremony situation. He thought Kanye was coming up to to talk to him because he was like, I'm a fan. He was like, I'm a fan of Kanye. He's just like, he thought that it was just kind of like but it was instead like this whole protest thing. And, so.
Well, I know Kanye, he's been banned from the Grammys, right?
I don't know.
Today.
I mean,
I thought I heard today he's banned from the Grammys.
I was
reading somewhere that they might take the Oscar away from him.
That's what I was about to say. It's like I'll be curious to see what the Academy. I don't think they'll take it away from him, but they'll definitely.
If they take it away from him, then they need to take away Roman Polanski, right? Come on,
yeah.
The guy's like banned out of the country, but yet he can have his.
Yet he gets a standing ovation from the Hollywood crowd. So.
Yeah, it's funny. One of the things that the Jim Carrey was like, he's like, yeah, I would announce on Monday morning if I was Chris, I'm suing him for $200 million. Because you know why? Not because of the hit, because that video will never be gone. Ever.
Yeah.
You think that video will always be in existence and it's going to be attached? I would have slapped a $200 million lawsuit against him. He just didn't want to deal with it.
I was reading another article.
I wouldn't want to do that.
I was reading another article, because people were asking, like, why was not Will Smith escorted from the audience? Because that's assault. It's a crime. The cops should have actually escorted him. And the official response from the Academy was because they have no protocol for that situation. And it said that, like, they were running, like, scenarios at the time, like, after it happened, like, do we go get him? Do we get security to escort him out? Like, what do we do? It said that by the time they figured out what to do, enough time had lapsed to where it would have caused another scene if they would have came and got him. So it was like they just left him in the audience.
What a dick.
Well, let's talk about other stuff.
I was watching. Well, I was watching one clip. Wait 1 second. I was watching one clip where what's his name? Ricky Gervais was roasting Mel Gibson at the what's that one where they all drink?
Fucking love Gervais.
Golden Gloves. He's calling him an alcoholic, a racist, and he goes, and all Mel Gibson did was laugh.
Yeah,
I mean, so anyway,
that's what you're supposed to do, because I mean, it's one of the dumbest.
It's one of the racist jokes that I throw at him. So
well, it's one of those that
building the walls.
One of the dumbest expressions I've heard in recent time was what was it like? Words are violence. It's like no, they're not. They're words. Violence is violence. Words are words. It's like
but. Again, times have changed. I mean, like we were saying, what Jim Carrey did 20 years ago. Unfortunately, there's with the social media. There's if you've done something, you better get rid of all your tweets, all your stuff,
right?
Suspended or banned, whatever it is.
I mean, I think there are some things that go beyond the pale, but I think there are also things that we can say, like, people can grow. They can.
Yeah, well, I agree.
I mean, I look back at the things that I did when I was 18, and but also never raped a girl
Will
behind
Smith
a drugstore.
is not fucking 18.
No, I'm talking about the rape guy, the rape kid.
Oh,
but I'm just saying, like, there are things that I did when I look back that I'm like, those were dumb things. But I never did something that was so violent or so, I never beat up a Chinese guy, to the point where he was almost dead, And
I think we all have those. We all have those moments. Because they creep back in your brain, like just things you did when you were a teenager, and you're like, fuck, did I really say that to somebody? Like, damn it, because like you do, it just stays with you when it was wrong, and you're like, fuck, I'm sorry. And I've actually gone back and apologized to people, and they don't even have any clue what I'm talking about.
But
it just
because there's
stays
great at Comic-Con.
They're what?
Their grave
You
sites.
never apologized to me what you said about
I don't apologize to you, Jack, because you don't apologize to me because you're just mean.
Damn.
that is true. I mean, I can't argue with you.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. I can't defend what you're saying.
I mean,
Yeah,
for everyone out there, like Jack always says, that's your best one yet. You know, and he's trying to be nice, but after we stop recording, he goes, Nick, I mean, fuck, dude, what the hell was that? I mean, he just rips into me.
Well, I also said, I've talked to Matt. I've texted him several times. Can you just tell Nick in a nice way, stop with the fucking songs because they suck.
But I don't
Matt,
say anything because
Matt
in
has
the
no
same,
backbone.
Well, no, because in the same text you're just ripping me a new asshole for being the worst producer ever. You know,
Sounds
and
about
it's
right.
just a teardown, psychological teardown.
You say, what about Chris? I said Chris is too busy surfing the net when we're recording.
If words are violence, then I have been stripped of all my dignity. The genes have been ripped off. I've fucked a sheep. I mean, everything.
Well,
that
were the jeans ripped off before you fucked the sheep? Or
I don't know,
after?
whatever you guys have done.
All right, we're gonna change the subject because you guys are getting bitter.
Yeah, we should take a commercial break before we do
We
that.
should do that.
Brought to you by Legos.
Speaking of Legos,
Oh, here, let me.
Oh, cute. I remember you saying you did that.
is that Legos?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool.
So
You
That
did
is
this
really
on your own?
for reference,
Chris is showing us a Lego
Photo.
version of a photo of him and his
my
daughter.
and I.
So
So you did this from scratch? You didn't have to.
No. I'm not taking any undue credit with this, but you upload a photo and you can print out like essentially if you're on Lego, you buy the Mosaic Maker, which is this kit, which comes with a fuckload of
It's just
A
like
fuckload
one by
of-
one tiles, right?
the little 1x1 tiles of these little guys here. I literally have
Okay.
5,000 of these, and a lot left over. So you upload a photo onto
Now,
Lego.com. Go ahead.
Do they all come in black and white, or can you get it in color?
No, I think it's all black and white.
It's all black, white, gray,
Red all
and
over.
yellow if you decide to. So you go on to Lego.com and you can you upload a photo and you actually like a slider that you can kind of like do the saturation of the photo and what that the uploader
sound
does
effects for what Chris
it
is doing.
configures no matter what the slider is that you use. Oh, you missed it. There you go. It'll always print out a instruction sheet based upon that would fit within the parameters of what's in the kit. So like you're never gonna create your picture will never exceed the amount of
So
pieces that
it
come
says
with it.
gray, black.
Well,
What
no,
you're
you
saying?
literally print out.
It's not like paint by numbers, right?
No, it
Matt does.
segregates
No.
the blacks
So
and the whites.
It's not even an instruction manual. It's this. You print
And
this
the
out.
gray.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you print that out, and then you just gotta like mimic the.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see. And it
What's
just
on
sends you
there.
the pieces, and you mimic that.
Yes.
Right, exactly. So
Oh, that's
that
nice.
came out pretty cool. I was pretty excited about that, and then
Oh, you made another one of his.
When
dick.
this become
That's
the Chris show?
Just joking.
Another. Oh, you got the bonsai. Yeah. Cool.
Oh,
and
nice.
you went with the blossoming.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
but it has all those frogs that it comes with.
Wax on, wax off.
which I thought was kind of cool. So I was pretty pleased with it.
I'll have to
Nice.
go upstairs and grab my bonsai here after a while. So
You have a real bonsai?
Is that what you call your sheep nowadays?
no, I have I had a
Terrible.
High five. High five.
Oh, thank you, Sherry. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it is awesome. My daughter is super stoked about it. So I have to find a way to mount that against the wall, though.
Double-sided tape.
Yeah,
I was thinking the same thing.
maybe like Velcro tape or whatever.
Well,
I was
could
also
you
thinking
put
maybe
it-
like
wait,
maybe
frame.
like a menu. What the fuck? Am I high? Probably. Like a
Bro.
mirror mount, like this little claw mirror mounts, like you see like on the.
Oh yeah. Like they
Something
have
like
just
that.
like a little pin that goes in and it has like an elbow.
Oh,
I think they're
gotcha.
called like an
Mhm.
elbow.
But yeah, so
That would
it's,
work,
too.
it's on regular.
Oh, that's interesting.
Just a
Okay,
base plate. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Could you
That's
put it
it.
in a frame though? Could you frame it?
I don't think it would fit because it's real
so it's
fucking
just
thick.
base plate based.
It's a
But
base
could
plate
you
with
have-
single one with 1x1 tiles. Yeah.
Because
Okay.
the Beatles ones, you actually build your
Yeah, those
base.
are different. You're actually building the frame and everything out. But this is just a base plate. But
No, it's still really cool. I've wanted to do something like that with a base plate before, like do some.
That is
Lego
really
art.
cool. I would like to do something like that. But
It's wicked fucking overpriced, Jack. I'll tell you that. But it's fun.
Are you saying I can't? You're saying I can't afford it?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
No, it's my only regret is I overpaid for it, but it's cool. That was my my I'm sorry gift to my daughter when I finished the Millennium Falcon without her. But yeah.
Oh, Dad, you built
works.
the Millennium Falcon without me.
You didn't let her finish the Oscars.
I know.
Falcon?
Just
man.
I thought
So-
I was.
Well,
okay.
I did have something I wanted to talk about. Like it happened like 2.5 weeks ago.
One second.
Mentioned-
One
Okay.
more Lego comment. I just want to ask Chris.
Okay.
So, like, what's the next one you're ordering, Chris?
DeLorean, baby.
DeLorean.
Oh
okay.
yeah, the DeLorean. That
Dude,
large DeLorean
this Lego thing's a fucking addiction.
Isn't it? Why do you think I have so
For sure.
many?
Like I finished building that bonsai tree last night. I was like, oh fuck.
what else can I do?
No,
How long did it take for the bonsai tree?
A couple hours. Yeah, the thing with the bonsai tree, that the time consuming part was putting all those little frogs and flowers on the branches, and not.
Could you share
snapping
the? Sherry
fucking
wants to
thing.
know what the website
Just
is.
Lego.com.
Oh, it's just Lego.com. So the product is the
What do you think?
Mosaic, I think.
Yeah.
Is it?
it's
It's under the Lego art
personalized
section.
mosaic portrait.
Yeah. So Sherry, if you can see the number there, just
Is that the Matrix?
when you
It's
go in, just type in 40179.
40179.
Yeah, and then it'll find it.
8675309 is what
40.
So all it does
407.9.
is it just
Eight,
comes with
six,
it comes with
seven,
5
five,
boxes
309.
of these.
That's twice, 2 podcasts in a row I've used that.
So it comes with like 5 of these little boxes. These are the yellows. I didn't end up using the yellows.
Oh,
okay.
nice. Well, you can use those
Um,
for other stuff, you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
That
lot of
yellow
here.
brick wall.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or Yellow Brick Road,
But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I
not wall.
recommend it. I wish it didn't cost as much as it does. It's $130.
Yeah, I thought it. I thought it was 120 or 130. Yeah, that's yeah.
But it's kind of cool how they do it, man. Like, so when you upload that photo, you know what you're gonna get, and it automatically configures it to fit within the parameters of the parts that you receive. So, cool nonetheless. And one of these days, I'll get it mounted up, and I'm gonna put it up on my daughter's wall.
Nice.
All right, Jack, you can talk now.
Yeah, okay. I just had, it's similar to Lego talk, because we've all stepped on Legos.
Ouch.
But, I watch my grandkids every day. A couple weeks
Owen
ago.
Wilson or Luke?
Owen
I
Wilson.
think you said a Luke Wilson or Owen Wilson.
Oh, I did.
Ouch.
Ow. Ouch.
Oh, yeah.
Ow.
Wow.
As opposed to wow, it's ow.
Wow. So anyway, I'm walking around. I'm looking for something that my grandson will not go to sleep without. I'm looking. I go, why the fuck does he has this little baby thing? Little baby lamb he has to have, and
Yep. I know
because he has to have this. And my granddaughter
Is
has
the one that
something
makes
too.
the noises.
It makes no noise. It
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
go, hey, Matt's behind me. Sorry,
Uh-huh.
I feel bad. Go ahead and slap me.
Jack,
Anyways.
you just
Keep
peeked.
Gretchen
you
out
just
your-
peeked.
No.
Yeah.
I like how you bleeped yourself, even though we're on the after dark.
Jack, you should just quit right now because you just peaked. That was fucking
I'm out.
awesome.
I'm out. So anyway, I'm walking around. I get frustrated when I can't find something. Like we all do. I get really mad and I'm like, "Where is the kids?" He's like, "Papa." I go, "I'm looking for it. What did you do with it?" It's over here. So anyway,
It's really bad when you're high too.
Yeah, exactly. But before I found it, I stepped on this. This is a Minnie Mouse type
Ow.
thing that's
That-
solid.
that-
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
rock
That does
right on my right foot. Right, and I went. I swear to God, I thought I broke my foot. It was all bruised. It was all black and blue on the thing. I said,
Did you just not
"Kids
see
and your
it on the
stupid
ground?
toys." I didn't see it. I was so flustered at that point because usually
You
walk
were
like
in
this.
panic mode. You were in like, oh, I gotta find this thing.
I
and
gotta
then
find this stupid baby. I gotta find this stupid baby. Because every day before his nap, now I try and find it like before he takes his nap. I'm like, look, okay, where's this? Where do you leave it? Because he just walks around. No matter where he's at, he drops things.
I like how you have it up on your desk. You're like, I brought this up on my desk. I wanted to talk about this.
Well, no, I took it out of the playroom, put it in my room. So, okay, if she asks for it, if Ava asks for it, I'll give it back to her. If she doesn't, but when I came in, I go, oh, that's right. I was going to talk about this a couple weeks ago. But anyway, that's all I got. It hurt like fucking hell, and my foot still hurts. If that's any consolation, but yeah, that's all I got. So yeah, bye everybody.
Okay, night. And that was it. That was all.
And then we just see
heard
the
from-
Survivor thing. That's it, yeah. So I know Jack and I watched it. And I mentioned it in our text back and forth. I saw The Outfit last weekend. Now Chris wanted to see it, but Jack and I saw it, and it's a superb movie.
Yeah, it's funny because Cindy and I were going, let's go to the movies. Let's get out and go to the movies. Let's go to the Draft House and watch a movie. And I said, she goes, what? I go, what's out there? I go, wait. Nick suggested something, and he gave it an A-.
Yeah.
She goes, wait, Nick likes something? I go, yeah, so it's got to be good, right?
Yeah.
And so we went on your recommendation, and I would say I really liked it. I thought it was really good, but it's not it. I had no idea what the movie was about.
Right. Neither did I.
Yeah. And it's like, and I don't want to spoil anyone who hasn't seen it, but it's like, okay, is this only location they're going to be at?
Right. That's why, like, when you're done, you kind of go, was this a play made into a movie?
Yeah,
because it's one of those where it's just in one location the entire time.
I told Cindy, I said, this was like a play.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, and they did such a great job because there's there's barely any action in it. But what they did and how they set it up and how the actors were acting and the writing, because there was action going where you couldn't see it, if that makes sense.
Right.
It's not going to be for everybody. I know some people wouldn't like it. They say it's going to be boring, but I thought it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I thought A- was a good review of it. It's like it's great. You won't be disappointed, but it's also like it's not perfect. So that's why it's like an A-. It's like
I gave it an A.
That's why it's a 7.5 on IMDb. What does IMDb know?
What do they know?
Just a bunch of people being like, "Man, I hate that."
It was if you have time, go see it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah. I mean, of all the movies that have come out in the last 5 months, I mean, that's probably one of the better ones I've seen.
Yes, because we're watching the previews. I'm like going. The only one that was close, I went with the Michael Bay movie with Jake Gyllenhaal. I go maybe. Maybe I don't know. It's just like it's just not. And Top Gun's coming out in May, so I'll go watch Top Gun. That was supposed to be out like 3 years ago.
So Mark Rylance, who's that's the lead actor in that movie,
right?
What's his? I've only seen the trailer. Like, does he kind of have that like aloofness character that he has from Don't Look Up / Ready Player One, or is it? What's your take on his?
He's more of like a sophisticated British guy in this one.
Yeah,
but he keeps to himself.
Yes, very very methodical.
Yeah,
very anal about stuff.
Think about Randy and what he would be like.
Yeah, exactly. That's who it was.
I mean, it's definitely him, Chris. But it's one of those movies that it's not a true whodunit type movie, but it's in that vein, of like who's the rat, is there layers to this, which there are, and so it's interesting, plot wise, it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil you, so I'll be quiet. But they does have a few twists.
But that's all you need to go into it. Is that he is. It's definitely something I did not know, which you are educated on, is that he is a cutter, which is someone who actually makes suits.
He's not a tailor.
He's not a tailor. I'm a cutter. Like, because a tailor is just someone who already has the suits there, and then they can, hem them. They can, thread stuff on. But he's the one who actually like cuts all the material to make the suit. And I couldn't do that job. Yeah.
Way too tedious.
But it was interesting.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, I'll probably check it out. I mean, I have Thursday off. No, I don't have Thursday off. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm working like next 5 days straight. I'll see it sometime soon.
But Alamo, they still require a mask.
Really?
Yeah.
And I was like, but as long as when you order food, you can take the mask off. So I think that's their because they want you to
that's their
food. That's
plan.
what they're making
Just
their money.
order
They
the
say,
food so that you can take your mask off.
We make them have the mask on, but so I order food and I just go. But now what Fauci was saying today that we might have to. There's things coming down the line again.
Well, the BA2.
Yeah.
So
Is that the new? Is that the new?
Well, it's a variant from the Omicron. So basically, the Omicron has had babies. So
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Ah, that's great.
I think the country's done with it. Like we're kind of like at that point where it's like
Yeah.
I don't
think
care
you
anymore.
People will just die.
I don't think you're
So
gonna
be
get
it,
people.
Jen.
Will you get people to wear masks again?
Probably not.
I mean, you know what? Up here in the Northeast, I would say we're probably still 30 to 40% people wearing masks.
Well, it's 20 degrees out there, so it keeps you warm.
That's true. It's cold as fuck.
I mean, they've already shown that the cloth masks do very little. So it's one of those things where it's like, do people have enough N95s? Yes or no? And so it's going to be one of those things where, like, well,
yeah,
you can't really say everyone go out and buy an N95.
Yeah, I still have a good supply of some N95s on hand. So hopefully,
I bought the N94s.
oh, the N94s.
I bought stock in that, and it was
Yeah.
oh sure, you had to one up me. God,
Right. I was just worried about the NY2K.
yeah. Me too.
So there was a movie I saw over the course of whenever we last talked, which was, and I know I missed the boat on this. You guys saw it before me. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Finally got around to seeing that. So, and that was really enjoyable. Watched it with my son, and I subjected my son to all 3 Ghostbusters. Well, Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2.
There's 4.
Well, okay, we haven't seen the female-led team one.
Oh,
so.
Sexist.
Yeah.
No, we probably will. But anyway, we were working our way up to Ghostbusters Afterlife because I knew that it would connect to the original. And so we watched that. And it was so good. He wanted to watch it twice. Like we watched it the next night, So that was a real big stamp. And huge stamp of approval for my daughter, who is a super fraidy cat. She's always been a little bit more like ghosts scare her. Just terrify her. And so to get
Don't
her
tell
to
her what's
watch,
next door.
to get her to watch, I know that's why I don't like to talk about it. But to get her to watch a Ghostbusters movie, and she was laughing and enjoying it the whole way. It was
Which
nice.
One? The first one?
No, Afterlife.
The new one.
Yeah. So, and she knew some of the characters because she had seen them or some of the actors, because the main female lead appears on Young Sheldon, as Randy would know. So she plays the character Paige, and then
she's also on Fuller House.
Oh, is she? Nice.
The main character, the mom?
No,
the young girl.
The young girl.
Oh, the young girl, the singer.
The singer.
Correct.
Did she sing? She sings the.
She sang the song that was in the credits.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really? Huh.
I know it's a
threat.
girl, and you don't really like female singers, but
It was a good movie. I liked it. I would give it, more than an A-. I joke. I'd say probably like the cream inside the cookie of that is probably halfway through the movie. There is a scene with Paul Rudd's character going into Walmart that is just, I don't know. I could watch that. Yeah, I love that.
Which is funny how I got different takes, because like to me that's where the movie derails.
Yeah,
no,
right.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a little
much.
That.
Yeah, I thought
I thought
this is the scene to make money.
That was a toy scene.
But you know what?
I still love the movie.
It's hey, if you want this franchise to go on, if you want it to survive, you're going to have to get kids like my son, who is turning 12, and my daughter, who's 15, to laugh and love something like this and be willing to get them into the theater in 3 years' time and get their teenager money.
I thought it was really good, but I'd been happy with just one Ghostbuster movie.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because that's like not too.
Well, the ending, there is a little bonus scene.
But the ending is what saves it, in my opinion, because like I thought the opening was solid. With I
can't remember the ending,
leaving the mountain, in the house and all that. The trap not working. I was like, that's great. And then the whole setup is a bit drawn out, and then. That's why I gave it a C- because to me it was the Force Awakens.
I remember you being you being a little bit more negative on it, but I went into it with no expectations for it. I was just like, okay, whatever. And
I didn't
then
either,
to see And maybe there is that difference. I mean, I had the same reaction to a lot of the Disney Star Wars movies. You know, like we split on it because I do enjoy it through my kids' eyes. You know, as a dad taking his kids or sitting there, you know, so it's like if I'm laughing, I'm enjoying it, they're enjoying it. Like, and then so I don't know. There were certain things that like even my son got like real specific about. Oh no, Dad, this happens in this, and I was like, oh, I was thinking about this and this, and I was like, dude, you're getting into the mythology, which is cool, you know.
Yeah.
So
well,
he's breaking it down.
Like even Jay, like, cause you know Jay loves to hear me bitch. Like he did see it from my point of view, as in like I would have liked it better if you would have introduced Gozer like early on and actually had it go beyond, you know, the monument, you know, actually build upon the first film instead of just kind of doing a retelling of the ending of the first film.
I thought it connected to it in some way because you get some of the mythology behind it.
That's true.
And you're also kind of learning why the building was built in New York City. So I felt like there was like actually like kind of more of a
New York City.
Anyway, I mean,
Pace picante sauce.
Yeah,
was that a pace picante sauce reference?
It is because my wife and I will say that every time.
New York City.
Yeah, yes. Anytime. It's been saying it for what, 30 years.
That commercial and the Chi-Chi's commercial, the kid in the trench coat would like stick the thing into the salsa and suck up the salsa into his trench coat. No,
I don't remember that one.
I do remember that. Mm-hmm.
All right.
I always thought like
that's kind of gross.
What are those bags made of? Is it, you know, like sheepskin? Is it plastic?
It always comes back to sheepskin.
I mean, you would know the feel.
Well, I thought John UBS guy had an interesting comment. Are there ghost sheep?
I don't think.
Why do you think his daughter's scared of white fluffy things? Because she's seen too much.
You keep my daughter's name out of your face.
High five, Matt.
Thanks.
The episode title is "Keep this podcast out of your fucking ears."
Maybe people will listen. They'll be like, "Oh, well, they're going to be talking about the Will Smith thing."
So I've been watching Severance, and I'm up to date, anxiously awaiting the next episode of Severance.
Okay, I've tried to dive in on this show.
I was actually about to bring that up as well.
So it was hard for me to start watching, and the more I've gotten watched it, it's just like now I'm like head first in, like just soak it up. It's gotten to the point now where I'm like, fuck, this is like appointment television now. I have to wait till next week for the next episode to come out. And the suspense of this show has been fantastic.
That's Apple TV, right?
It
Apple
is,
TV.
yeah. So I don't know how far along you guys are.
I'm all the way.
Oh, you are.
I
Okay,
am not. You guys.
I mentioned it a few weeks back. Like y'all should watch it.
Yeah,
I haven't started yet.
It's good. It's real good. And there's you get through halfway.
Basically, to me, is that the first two episodes will definitely intrigue you, but once you get to the elevator scene, if you're not hooked by the elevator scene, then you're.
Was he in a wheelchair the whole time?
No,
no. But they play Aerosmith though.
Like, let's just say this isn't giving anything away, but Christopher Walken is in the show.
Yeah.
And he's not introduced until like halfway through the first season. And it's just and it literally opens up.
Does he want more cowbell?
Yeah. It literally opens up an entire like part of like this universe. You're like, what the fuck? And it's just it's one of those shows that just every week you get something more that you're like, what is going on here? But
I'm gonna keep fantastic. Going with it. I tried to dive in on that first episode and I fell asleep. So
yeah, fair.
Yeah. So and I just
liked the concept of it so much in the first two episodes of just like, because
I was intrigued by it.
In some ways, you're like, that could be pretty cool, but then as it starts to really get more into the show, you're like, this is like a living hell if this really would happen to you, you know.
If you guys want to talk more about it, I'll
no, it's okay. No. It's okay.
I'm intrigued by it for sure because I like the concept of it.
Yeah, but the show that I'm falling asleep to, and I'm struggling to pick up with
this podcast.
No, that too. But
that's you.
I've been struggling watching Raised by Wolves.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking hell.
I loved season 1 because it's just very focused on.
That's what I'm on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude.
Like, season 1 up until the last episode to me was good because it's focused on the kids and it's focused on the 2 robots or androids, whatever you want to call them. And then the season finale, season 1, kind of like you're like, what is this? And then season 2, I've only watched the first 3 episodes and I kind of gave up on it because when it starts getting into this larger world of like the religious people versus the scientist people, you're like, I don't care anymore. I just don't care.
See, I've gotten to the point in the series in which they've discovered a fairly important character is pregnant.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Yeah.
What? What the fuck is this? And there's a whole like arc of that particular character. I'm trying to discuss as best I can without giving away the plot. That particular character kind of goes on like this like quest to kind of like right themselves, and you're just like, what the fuck is happening? And like why? How is this even pertain to everything I've watched up to this point? Because to Nick, to your point, it is very much focused on the kids and the kind of the kids growing up on this planet. And I'm hoping it kind of reels itself back in a little bit.
What channel? What's this on?
HBO.
HBO. Okay.
Yeah, like it's to me, it's one of those that I think if it just done it to me, I would have liked it a lot better if it just been one solid season, really complex, and then that's it. Because like to me, I don't think it can last because it just has not sparked my interest in season 2 at all. And I liked how it started off, and then it just kind of started to wane interest in it.
Yeah,
I was like that with Outlander.
Yeah.
Loved the first season. The second season was so boring. I just quit. Even though people say it's great, I couldn't get past the second season. But I was watching. I'm watching that Laker thing. What's winning and I can't imagine anybody that Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Norm Nixon, Jerry West. I think Jerry Buss is dead, right? So yeah, I think his daughter runs the team now. I can't imagine anybody of those people going, "Hey, I'm glad they're doing this show," because they all are just assholes.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I just wanted to note Sherry's comment there. Just kind of go back to Severance for a hot second. But Sherry says, "I love the elevator scenes where they segue between his Severance life and his work at home, work from home. The acting is outstanding in that minute, dude. It is, yeah. So to anyone who hasn't seen Severance, we talk about this a lot now, but when the employee goes down the specific elevator, like their entire personality switches from their work to their at home life, and you see it happen. And she's right, like the expression, like the expression acting, like on what's his name's face.
I have caught that much.
That's and like, but you haven't seen him stressed out yet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you haven't seen him in a bad place yet, and then just to see that like. It almost looks like he's got like prosthetics in his face, like he's just a different person, and it's a pretty incredible bit
He's
of
using
acting.
computer enhancements.
Right? Sorry, I know we're talking about Lakers, but
I definitely want to watch it. I just
another series. I brought it up 2 weeks ago, and you guys really do need to watch it.
Okay,
on Apple TV.
I watched your fucking movie.
No, not that. It's Samuel Jackson. Total McRae is fucking awesome.
Okay.
It's probably the first time.
What's it called?
What?
Total McRae.
Total McRae?
Total McRae, but it's P, like pterodactyl.
Is it like
Greg silent?
Greg Legos?
Like PTOLMEYGREY. Like
MOUSE.
And like it's really good. It's probably I guarantee Samuel Jackson is going to get an Emmy nod for this because it's the best acting I've seen him doing in a long time.
He better. Someone's going to get slapped.
But basically, he has dementia or early onset Alzheimer's. And the first 2 episodes to me are almost anxiety driven because you don't know who to trust with him because he doesn't know what he's doing.
His Alzheimer's, dementia
is early onset Alzheimer's, and he's slowly forgetting. And I'm not going to give any of the plot away, other than like just like the basic things. But
you've ruined the show.
He a doctor sees him in the first or second episode, and they
I'm
recommend
never going to watch
that he
it.
needs to go to this trial for this shot that's supposed to give you back your memories.
Oh,
And it's
I remember you
just-
talking about
it's
this.
so good. It's so good.
Yeah, doesn't he like in the preview or the trailer, like this shot gives him literally all
Everything
of his
everything.
memories. Like
Yeah, like
he,
it's supposed to be. It's 3 shots, but the first one like gives him a little bit, and the second one like, and then he has to have a third one, and so it's good. But like I think they're on the.
That's cool.
Yeah, the
Then you have
fifth,
some-
the fifth
you-
episode will be out Friday.
Then you have
But
some
it's
people
really
refuse
good.
to take the shot, right?
But it's good. It's just really good. And even the girl that's with him, at first you do not like her at all, like the way that she's introduced, and then like she grows on you. And like I wouldn't be surprised if she even got a nod for Best Supporting Actress
right.
and an Emmy, because it's really, really well done.
I gotta hand it to the old Apple TV Plus, and they
Yeah, they're
sure
very
know
good.
how to buy properties.
I'm going to be doing a video on the worst trade in sports history, and I've been doing some research. And Chris might find this interesting, that the
Yeah.
Boston Celtics could have moved to San Diego,
wow.
Where there are
and
no Irish.
there was a chance
Irish.
Larry Bird should have actually played for the San Diego Clippers.
That's weird.
So just
Huh.
I thought Chris would find that interesting. That I don't know if you're a Celtics fan.
I'm not. I mean, I am, but like I haven't watched basketball since the Big Three with Paul
Harris,
Pierce
Bird,
and no Paul
Oh.
Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Those are the big three.
Well, that's the last Big Three that they had. That was back in like the mid 2000s. I think it was. I haven't watched since then. And before that, I wasn't a really diehard basketball fan growing up. So
Yeah, I just found some.
I'm indifferent.
Wait, how, Chris? How can you grow up in the '80s and not be a Celtics fan?
Yeah.
So basketball was not like a
Owen
very
Wilson,
popular
too.
sport in my household. Like my dad didn't watch basketball. And if he did, like I don't remember it. But like, but everybody how? But everybody watched the Celtics back in the 80s though. So I mean that was kind of like a I don't know.
Golden
I remember like it
Golden.
was like when the Celtics were incredible. Like they were
They
the
had
best
the
team
luck of the
in history.
Irish.
You
could
but
say.
yeah, I just never got into it. I was much
can
more
say
of
that.
a
I'm
Red
Irish.
Sox
That's in
fan
my
than anything
DNA.
else.
I've looked up
And
a lot
Bruins.
of stuff.
Yeah, but the Red
You're
Sox
still
weren't
fucking
winning.
talking, Matt.
The Red Sox weren't winning championships back then.
But I was into baseball. Like as a kid, I played a lot of baseball. So
You had your
By
dream of playing
default.
at Fenway Park, right?
yeah, I did.
Miami Mike has shown up. He's found
Real-
us.
Yeah, Jesus
Time to
Shuttlesworth.
shut this thing down, guys. Wrap it up. I actually forgot to post about this show, I think, on Instagram, didn't I? Or did I? Maybe I did. I don't know. I had a nightmare about posting this episode. Episode?
Episode.
We're gonna have a really good episode for you tonight.
Episode
One
In the world.
So I thought Chris would like. So Chris is not a basketball fan, so just forget the. he's
Oh,
talking
okay.
about.
Sure, let's forget about it.
Sorry,
But what
Jack.
about that Tom Brady? We didn't talk about that, huh? He's
Fuck
back.
that guy.
What about him?
Okay, we
He
won't
has,
talk
to,
And
he
then
has-
the- then
he has
the-
to
then
give
the-
all. He has to give all of his retirement gifts back to the people that gave them.
Yeah, I think Peyton Manning wanted his bottle of wine and his letter. I
His
thought that
letter
was
back.
funny. I want my letter back. That letter gave you the password to my
I think
Disney
it's-
Plus account, and I want it back. Okay.
What's
I'm
the
not gonna
theory
share
out
it.
there? There's a theory out there. Someone made a good point that he was so pissed at the press for the Deflategate, even though he has
Even
a
though he
friend
did it.
named Deflator, but he's fucking with the press now to like retiring and to get them
No,
to.
he's not. He's fucking.
that's
That's,
what-
stupid. Like fucking with the
he's
press.
petty.
You're literally giving the press more stories. Like
No,
the press
but,
loves this.
no, and like I said, he's going to retire. He's doing this. He's doing that.
There's
That's
a
what they're
theory.
saying.
There's a
and,
theory.
and even
that
there's
said
a rumor
that
out there
he-
he's going to go to the Dolphins.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
Which
how,
I-
how does Matt?
Because
feel
they're
about
loaded now.
How does Mike feel?
How does Matt feel about him going to the Dolphins?
Me?
I mean, Brady's a bit old to become paper.
The paper mill. I think.
Man, shots are fired tonight. I think everyone's gotten a pretty good dig on themselves tonight.
But
we had a good time, guys.
I mean, you're a Patriots fan there.
I am.
I'm assuming you're still a Patriots fan.
I am.
But what do you think about the AFC? It's pretty loaded.
And the Patriots are going to be shit for at least 5 years.
I'm so
But
upset
they have a
the
decent
Colts took
team.
Matt Ryan. I mean,
It's not
talk
good
about
enough.
Matty, not nice.
I think that was a good.
Dude, Matty Ryan's gotten fucked over for the last 15 years.
Okay, so is this just the lot of the Colts? We're just gonna take all of the like second-rate shitty ass.
I think he's
that's a good move for the Colts. I think
he's gonna fucking perform in Indianapolis. I think he's got a great quarterback.
They just needed a look at they had a great running game, great offensive line, great defense. They just needed a quarterback.
I'm just not very.
He's
happy.
Infinitely better than anything you've had since Peyton Manning.
I am telling you right now, he's better.
Really, you're saying that he was better than Phillip Rivers? Jack Boy.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You're saying that he was better than Phillip Rivers.
I'm telling you right now, he will outperform Phillip Rivers in Indianapolis.
Well, they have a better team now than they had with Phillip Rivers.
True.
So
they do. I mean, it's just. I bet
he's going to be better.
I like how Miami Mike says. Matt Ryan will really be getting screwed making $40 million this season.
Well, you look at what the Cleveland, because they had the owners meeting this week, and everyone's mad at the Cleveland Browns because they guaranteed every penny of the $240 million to Deshaun Watson.
Unbelievable.
Usually it's just the bonus. But you look at Cincinnati, they have Burrow, and you have Herbert in Los Angeles, and all these different guys.
Nice.
Speaking of getting paid,
speaking of getting laid,
but what are those guys going to get paid? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, my dad told me this, which he could be wrong because my dad's known to be wrong. I knew that in college football that players could now get endorsements and be paid that way, but he was saying that now universities are going to pay the athletes as well, which to me is kind of scary because they're talking about with the youngest Manning kid that's about to be a freshman this coming fall is like that the Texas and Alabama. But Alabama and Texas and all them offering him like $8 million to play at university. It's like, well, doesn't that kind of fuck up the whole system if like you can just pay these kids that are unproven to come play in college football?
But I don't think they get. I think there's a limit on what they can make, but I think they get like a percentage of their jerseys that are sold and merchandise.
So that's fine. That's fine.
That should have always been the case.
For sure.
I mean, why are these people making millions off my name?
Making money on a name? Yeah.
I mean, they get a free education, which is good, but still.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's one of those things where
they don't.
Yeah, so they get shit education, but
they don't go to class.
Well, they don't have to pay for it.
No, they physically do not go to class. Like they go to play football. No, they don't.
Yeah,
you're saying every player doesn't.
Every player in every
starter on a Big Ten team, or they don't fucking go to class. Like that's just no chance. It's all business. And to think that these guys are just starting to get paid is horseshit. They've been getting paid for years.
So you're saying that men's college basketball players are getting preferential treatment over I don't know, just some random girl that plays volleyball varsity?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That is.
This is news to me. Fucking saying that.
That is wild. I did not know that.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes.
I remember seeing the dorm rooms for freshman athletes and going, "What the fuck?" It's like basically a damn apartment, whereas you're crammed in a 10 by 10 little nothing.
But
try to have sex in that thing.
Yeah, on a bunk bed.
Okay,
your roommates are going, "Hey man, you got a new girl."
What it would hurt? It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt the smaller colleges.
Yes,
they're not going to be like the Dukes of the world, where allegedly some people have been paid.
But they've never. I mean, I don't know.
It's like Reggie Bush having to give his Heisman back because his parents got a house and all this. Well, he still won the Heisman. It didn't affect his play on the field. I mean, I know it should be the people that the boosters and those people should be getting. I would have said, fuck it, I'm not giving you my Heisman back.
Do
What
you,
are you gonna do? Come to my house, I'll slap you.
Who is the athlete on the Heisman? Do you know that?
I don't.
Okay. That's like one of those, like, yeah,
Right.
I know, right? I mean, that's so it's not Heisman.
No. Well, the Heisman's kind of a joke anyway, because sometimes they award it. Like
What movie?
the
is
year
that?
Gino Toretto won, Marshall Faulk should have won.
Beautiful girls.
But anyway,
What?
There's a movie called I think it's Beautiful Girls, where like a guy he walked up to a woman in a bar and she basically shot him down, and then a few minutes later in the movie, he sees her again. He's like, "Oh, ever since you gave me the Heisman." She's like, "What?" He goes, "Back off."
I thought it was funny.
It is.
The Heisman is Ed Smith, a leading player in the 1934 New York University football team.
Dun, 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 dun,
I didn't know they played football in New York. I mean, they got the Giants.
You were doing the exact same thing I was doing. I was like, let's look this up.
Actually, they don't play in New York.
That's
Donut?
right. They play
They
in
play in
Donut
Giants.
doesn't
Jersey.
The Giants are in
Jersey.
East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Jersey.
At least Rustafed.
Dun, 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 dun,
It's kind of like baseball, like New York baseball. It's like you neither team plays in New York City. It's like all right.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
Kansas is the Chiefs are talking about getting a stadium built in Kansas.
Oh well,
So
That's gonna make it even more
it'd be
confusing.
cheaper
and now
construction.
people are pissed because they don't want them to leave Kansas
Missouri,
City.
yeah.
Yeah, they don't want them to
They're
leave
like,
Missouri.
Hey, what the fuck, man? Because
I mean-
both stadiums are right next. The baseball stadium,
Right.
and they're right next to each other.
Well, didn't they used to share one? Well, it was like Oakland, where you had the football and the baseball. But anyway,
I don't think so.
I mean, there is a Kansas City, Kansas. It's just a little sliver compared to the Kansas City, Missouri. So
Yeah,
I bet there's a Franklin, Kansas. There's like a Franklin everywhere, right?
True.
good point, Matt.
Because people in San Diego were always looking for someone rich to buy the Chargers and bring them back. Well, Bill Gates bought a $43 million home on the beach in San Diego. You look at the home, you're like going, okay, you'd have to have it's on the beach, but it's not really, you look at it and go, okay, I'm not seeing $43 million there, but
Yeah.
anyway, if you got trillions, I guess there's no big deal, but
You
so
know
we'll
what?
see.
You know what Bill
Billions.
Gates
He's not
told
a
his
trillionaire,
wife
he's a
after she
billionaire.
was just like, "Look, I'm done with you." He said, "Biatch." Sorry. Here's Franklin, Kansas.
Matt
Right.
have the drugs taken effect now?
What?
I'm just curious.
I think, Matt, are you fucked up?
I think it is.
No. Here's Kansas, Franklin, Kansas.
Because I appreciate it. Like I do.
Are the Chiefs moving to Franklin, Kansas?
Nah, I was looking up Franklin's. So Chris and I are Franklin brothers,
Who
So I
knew
always
that there
think
were so
about-
many Franklins in the country? I mean, it's,
I'm looking at all of them right now.
Yeah.
It's quite
That
a
was
bit.
You're looking at all of them.
I know I've
You're
asked this
looking at all
before.
of them at once?
Is it are you named after Ben Franklin?
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
actually the
Mhm.
state of Tennessee was originally going to be called the state of Franklin.
Because
I
what's
can
his
tell
name?
you, I can tell you the origin of this whole story, but I think I've done this before in the show.
Yeah, I don't care. Um,
It's actually
what's
kinda cool.
what's that guy that does the documentaries? Baseball and Vietnam and
Ken Burns.
Ben Burns.
Ken
Ken
Burns.
Burns.
He's going to do one on Ben Franklin.
Really?
There is a Franklin,
Yeah.
Washington. Even
So the history of my town of Franklin is that back in the day when the town was being established, they solicited to get some funds from Ben Franklin to build a church steeple in the downtown area. And Ben Franklin responded saying, "I'll give you the money, but you can't build a fucking church. I'll give you the money if you build a library." And they did. They built the first library, public library in the United States. And it was actually at the end of my street that I used to live on.
Nice.
It was the first public library in the country.
Ben Franklin, the first American sex symbol.
There you go.
He was one sexy man. He's the only person on our money who's not a president currently.
Well, not according to Michael Scott.
Oh, right. Because he thought he was president, right? Oh,
And
speaking
Franklin,
of,
Massachusetts was the first town in the United States to be named for Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah.
So you
know.
fucking
But
other
it's not a
Franklins can go
competition.
suck
It's
it.
just- it's like a
Matt's still
unity
going.
thing.
Hey, we got to be first, man. We got to be first.
No, I don't care about being first.
First-
It's just like it's
first
a
in flight.
unity thing, man. You know, you're just turning it into like a competition. You know,
I never felt unity with another town of Franklin
why not? It's like
because we were the first. Fucking copycats.
Jeez, what a dick move. So, well, that's how they do it in New England, folks.
so my parents came for a kind of a surprise visit this past week, and
Did they surprise you like in the middle of the night? Your mom showed up.
They did.
with a
They
mask
showed
on?
up, and
And you're like, Mom, don't. That's not okay out here.
But I introduced them to Station 11, which they loved, and they binged it very quickly and got through it. And and the only thing I warned them about was the birthing scene. I was like, just so you know, there's a really weird moment where they show you complete birth, and I don't know why they did. And of course, they were all just like, "Oh my god!" Oh my god.
I thought that was kind of great. You know.
I don't need to see that ever.
Okay.
But anyway, and then of course
I can see someone get sliced in half and stuff like that, but don't show me. Don't show me a birthing scene.
I mean, of all of the gruesome things that I've had to witness in a movie, watching childbirth is not.
Hold on a second. Not even a hello, but just a jump in Jay Lynn's like I'm gonna say Ben Franklin's out next week, next Monday and Tuesday on PBS.
Oh.
Since when does she listen to this show live?
Never.
Since,
I don't think.
Since when does she listen to this show?
That's great follow-up question.
Is people in? I didn't think people heard us in Canada.
Well,
that's like a
illegal
6-year-old joke.
Hold the presses.
It holds.
Yeah. And then
WD-40 was invented in San Diego. Go ahead.
Apparently, I'm not supposed to use it on my as a lubricant on my car.
I'm sorry. We're not as big as Franklin.
Door opener.
But yeah, San Diego. WD-40.
Wait, you use WD-40 for a lubricant, Matt? For what?
On my car garage door. So, okay, go ahead with your parents and the fact that they were embarrassed about watching childbirth with you.
No. But yeah, and then of course, my dad being my dad.
She was bored while watching The Office.
They still have cable, but he's loving modern technology and that I can just switch back and forth between apps. And he loves Hulu because like he can watch every old show in the world right then. And so he started fucking Cheers season 1, and now I'm watching Cheers. And so I'm done with season 1 now, and I'm like, and I always forget about Coach and like how he died.
God,
and I'm
Coach is so good.
Yeah. But they did replace him with Woody Harrelson.
With Woody, yeah.
It worked, even though Coach was so good. Because sometimes it doesn't work. But I think I told when I did my rewatch a couple of years ago, I got into eating pretzels because every episode's like pretzels. I think I ate pretzels every day for a year.
You gained
now
it's 10 pounds.
It's like I can't eat pretzels. Get them away from me.
Yeah, just killed you on that. It's weird. Like there's certain paintings that I've worked on over the years where like I remember what movies or TV shows I was watching while I painted it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a weird connection. Yeah, I'll be like, oh yeah, like I'd seen this painting. It kind of passed through family, and so a friend of mine had posted it on Instagram, and I hadn't seen that painting in a long time. I was like, oh, that's that painting, And I was like, I remember painting that watching the Godfather trilogy. Those were good times. This is like such a weird, like cyclical
you
thing.
Actually watched part 3.
There's going to be a thing on the making of the Godfather. TV
yeah, there is. That's right. Yeah, there's going to be a series.
I think it's HBO. I think maybe.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a series.
Yeah, they're telling how. Okay, here's a question because a lot of Cheers fans here.
Oh yeah.
Was it better with Diane?
They're both good. I think they're both
but which one's the best? I'm drawing a blank.
I know.
Well,
that's
the
like
thing is,
who's better, Harry Potter, like Henry.
No, which episodes are better?
Well, the thing is like Rebecca's funny. Rebecca is funny. At least there's funny stuff. Like Diane is just this annoying but charming. They're two different things.
That's acting.
Yes.
I don't think she was acting.
But like,
yeah,
but it's just, but like something like there's not much difference between the two. It's like you're saying, like Coach and Woody are kind of the same character, but different versions of it. And to me,
Yes.
Diane and Rebecca, they're two different characters, but they have similarities because they're trying to still keep with that tension and things.
I think they're like pears and apples.
Yeah.
I like the Rebecca ones better.
Like, but the thing is, though, I think we all agree there is no lull or downside.
No.
Like, I think that that's like one of the only shows out there that was really like spot on, like throughout its entire run.
It's amazing how
Seinfeld was that way.
No, I disagree. I don't think Seinfeld was always great.
No, yeah, Seinfeld's not always great. Yeah. I think it always pisses me off. Like, I think Seinfeld's better than Friends, and there's so many people out there that think Friends is like awesome. I'm like, Friends is good, but like Seinfeld holds up
hands down. No, Seinfeld's better than Friends, but I think there's more I don't know, nuance to I don't know, like when I sit down to watch Seinfeld, I don't feel like I'm getting I don't know. There's the episodes where Jerry's doing a stand-up shtick. I'm not knocking Seinfeld. I like Seinfeld. I mean, it's like we're talking about like some of the great shows here. It's just, but there's different seasons and different iterations. You're like, if you start with season 1, it's like starting with season 1 of Parks and Rec. You're like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, and is this going to get better?
It's different, but I like season 1.
I watched season 1 when it aired. I was a big fan of Seinfeld, and I was a big fan of Tim Allen at the time. I loved stand-up comedians, and I watched both shows. I hated it when they pitted those two against each other, but I stuck with Seinfeld, and I'm glad that it survived. I mean, it was really the show.
I don't know how it did, because it
is really the show that couldn't. But to Cheers, just a lot of listeners, in the conversation you're talking about Cheers. I just thought it was so amazing that they brought a character like Frasier in with, in the whole Diane saga, and then how he had merit. He stood the test. He became his own character. I don't think he's supposed
to be a regular character though.
No, but
he was so popular.
It's almost like Ben Linus coming in on Lost.
Right.
Because it was like, well, who's this guy? And we can still use him, so.
What show had the best cold opening? Cheers or The Office?
Ooh.
Office.
Man.
But I think Cheers is filmed before a live studio audience.
That's true. But it was almost like that. Yeah, both cold opens, but it's almost as if Cheers wasn't even trying. Just it was natural. Whereas The Office is intentionally cold open,
I think what benefits both shows is that when I watch those shows, I'm in that environment. I'm in the office. I'm with my coworkers, and I'm in with this family. When I'm at Cheers, I'm at the bar, and I'm hanging out with these guys. You know what I mean? Like, you're in that place. With Seinfeld, and again, it's not a knock to Seinfeld, but it's just like, in Seinfeld, you're kind of in different places. You are in Jerry's apartment, but you're kind of around New York, and you don't know what you're going to get every week. Whereas if I'm watching a comfort show, and by the way, I'm sorry not to knock Friends, but I don't really like hanging out in the apartment. I'd rather hang out in the bar.
But the thing is, the charming thing about Seinfeld, and what Seinfeld got really right was the genius of Larry David.
I was going to talk about that. Yeah.
Real Permanent's great. But the genius of Larry David to take things that were never talked about on TV shows, like everyday things, like real, and
a show about nothing.
And every fucking challenge. every one of us has had like a mental like struggle of like with some of the shit that they did on these shows that we never talk about. Like, it was just like he brought like real life bullshit to light and made a comedy out of it, and it was there's something that was just so like unique about that. Like, no show has ever done that before, and I think that's probably why it was so.
Well, that's when it started hitting its stride, because season 1, I think the episode that really pushed him over the top was the Chinese restaurant one.
Yeah,
I think that was the episode where people said, John just mentioned it in the chat.
Yeah,
that was where, because it was just about being in a Chinese restaurant. And you're like going,
well, and how many people have been in that situation where you just have to wait for something, and that just hit home comedically.
Of course, kids today watching, when George is mad about payphone, he's like, people are like, what's a payphone?
Right.
But
going to Rhea Perlman, My dad actually, before we started watching Cheers, we watched all season 1 of Taxi, which I hadn't seen in a while.
Oh
Which
yeah,
is
yeah,
excellent, which
appears
is
in it.
excellent too.
And but it's one of those things where like you don't think about it until you start, because we watched them like went from Taxi straight to Cheers. It's like you see why Danny DeVito and her got married. It's like they're the same fucking person. Like they're the same character, same, just like they're gonna stick it to you and like make fun of everything about you. I was like, they're the same, just miserable person character.
Plus, Taxi has one of the funniest scenes of all time. The slow down.
Yeah. Actually, that episode is not available on Hulu, which I do not know why.
It really sucks
like
what they've made available on Hulu for Taxi. So I don't know if Peacock's any better. I haven't checked, but I just want to say goodnight, Mr. Walters. Rhea Perlman's character is a little bit different, though, I think, in Taxi than how she is in Cheers, like the character herself, because she does appear in some of the Taxi episodes.
Right.
She's more seasoned and kind of in control of like who she is, I think, on Cheers, whereas like I felt like, I don't know, it's just different. So
well, you heard how who was the guy? Was her husband was a hockey player?
Yeah.
You know how he lost his job. He said something nasty about Rhea Perlman.
Oh yeah,
about having to kiss her or something. I don't know something. He
but
was
I mean,
on a radio show and he was just joking. But
I think that goes to a testament of maybe like how tightly, I think shows that last the test of time, like The Office, there is a family unit of those actors where you got to spend like day in and day out with these people. And if you're not willing to put in that time with those people and have a good time, it's kind of like this podcast. If I didn't enjoy coming on here every week, and talking to you guys and finding out what your life's like, I mean, you wouldn't have that camaraderie or that energy that you get from enjoying watching those shows. And there had to have been that. Yeah.
All right. So doing what I do, I fucking drift off and start scrolling through some shit on Wikipedia. Like I fully admit that I do this, and I'm glad I did, because this is a fucking incredible statement about Cheers. Mm-hmm. So its series finale was watched by an estimated 93 million viewers, which, this is fucking wild, was almost 40% of the U.S. population at the time.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it was the number one show for about 3 years. The last few years of it.
Well, must see TV. It was.
I tell you another really interesting fact about Cheers, which I did not know about. Was that after Coach died, something he always kept in his dressing room was a picture of a Native American that he always had. It was like his good luck charm or whatever that he did before he would go out and act. They hung it in the bar after he passed away. Geronimo. And the last thing you see in the season finale is Geronimo, and Ted Danson straightens the picture and then walks out, and that's a nod to the coach.
Well, that shows you. We're talking about Seinfeld and Cheers. Those shows could have kept going.
Oh yeah.
It's not like Friends. Where all right, Friends, you've gone on a little too long. But I will give the actor on Friends credit. They all made the same amount of money. They all. Again, how often does that happen? I mean, they were really friends. So
but that goes to like the synergy, and I kicking the tires of Friends here, and but you could tell that there was a camaraderie there, and that energy comes through. And I think that lasts with great shows. So
I was going to say, I was reading something about The Office when James Spader comes on as Robert California.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't comfortable with the cast because they ad-lib so much.
Damn.
Like he got frustrated with it.
Damn, did you read John the Retired Guy's comment? That's just mean.
I know that they were also a little uncomfortable with having the bigger names on there. They didn't really want to have the James Spader or Will Ferrell, or even
Timothy Oliphant.
No, I was trying to think of her name.
I just watched those two episodes.
When she comes in, Joe.
I can't think of
her name.
Kathy Bates.
Yeah, Kathy Bates. Like she was kind of the first one that really started to break that fourth wall, because up to that point, the Jack Black appearing on the movie that they
That is
watched.
so funny.
That was like probably the biggest, Hollywood name that they could like kind of break that fourth wall without saying like, oh, here's a big famous person.
And
that's
one of the
on the show.
funniest scenes in Office history that probably is when it was Pam, Jim, and Andy are sitting around. He goes,
Oh, yeah.
I made popcorn. It's just the kernels. And it's so subtle. Of course, Jim gives that look to the camera. I just watched about 3 weeks ago. I love that. Every time he just pours, I made popcorn. It's like there's a few popped and the rest is just kernels. That is so fucking funny. I mean, who thinks of that? But that's
good writing.
it's funny. The first time around, I didn't like Gabe.
Now
Gabe, Gabe is growing. I think he's a lot like you, Matt. Seriously, you're tall and skinny, right?
Thanks.
Right? That's not a compliment? Okay, I'm sorry. I could have called you Michael.
We say a lot of mean things to Matt, but I think that's the meanest.
Okay, I got something I noticed on The Office.
Wait, I'm trying to figure out.
I have not said one mean thing about Matt this week. Just
Jay would be Diane and Matt would be Rebecca. See, I thought Worm Taffy was Diane and I was Rebecca, but that's cool.
But on Cheers, have you noticed there's a big table in the conference room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But sometimes you go in there, the table's not there. The chairs are all there.
Yeah.
Where does the table go?
If you listen to the Office ladies, they talk about that.
Do they?
Yeah, that they do. They talk because they're watching the show.
I never really noticed it until this rewatch. I go, where the fuck did the table go?
And for those that might be like, well, they've seen the show because they were on the show. Well, but not always the case, because you might be in scenes, but you're not necessarily in
some
all
people
of the
don't watch.
scenes.
Some actors don't watch the show.
Some actors don't watch it, but anyway, they're going through and rewatching them, and as they rewatch them, they track certain things, and they're like, where are they putting the table? And so that was one of the big questions that came up: is where does the table go in the conference room? They explained it away with a place that it could be housed, and that two people are the ones that like kind of move it in and out of that whenever they have to. So
because they know, let's go into the conference room.
Right.
Sometimes in the same episode, the table is there.
There's so much about The Office that is about that space and the architecture, because they actually do move around within that space, and it is built as it's as opposed to like Cheers, where there is a fourth wall that we never see, right? It's filmed in it's the studio audience wall that
we finally see the restaurant.
Yeah, those are always my favorite.
I like when John comes on the show.
Yes, I do like his character as well, and Robin's character. So that's he's kind of annoying. I hated the Robin stuff when it was happening live, but I in rewatch
it was Tom Skerritt at first, right?
Tom Skerritt, yes, at first, and then they brought in the younger. Who was on the West Wing? Who? Tom Skerritt?
No, not Tom Skerritt. The other guy, the British guy.
Oh, the British guy. I can't remember. I just know his name was Robin on the show.
Yeah, Robin Coldcourt, right?
Yeah.
But he was on the West Wing. He was an ambassador, and he always what's his name? Secretary of the guy. Not press secretary. What's the guy in charge? Not the president.
The president.
The guy that gets. What's his name to run for president? He's not Toby. John Spencer was the actor. I can't think of his name. Anyway,
I'm just gonna wait for Miami Mike.
Chief of staff.
Chief of staff. Yeah. Leo McGarry. He never gets his name right. He always calls him something else. It's funny.
It's funny.
Anyway.
It's funny. You gotta laugh. You got to laugh.
Okay, can we just? I know this is their first time in the chat. I hate to call people out. It's not a regular fold-up table. It's not. There's no crease in the middle.
No, yeah, it's not a fold-up table. I don't know if you've ever.
Don't put things in the chat if you don't know what you're talking
solid
about.
wood table. You don't know how they get it in and out of there.
And sometimes the table's bigger.
Sometimes
it's
huge.
a smaller table. Sometimes it's a bigger table.
Jack, she's Canadian. Okay, you can't talk to people like that.
She's just now getting the office.
I apologize.
They're too polite. They get their feelings hurt.
I apologize. I'm sorry. I lost it for a second.
Yeah,
We
or
really do
at least say it in her native language. You can't put stuff like that in the chat, eh?
Hey, what are you doing, hoser?
We'll go about doing.
Yeah.
So I just want to take this moment to say that we don't always shit on the people in the chat, but we do appreciate you joining us live. And if you haven't already, please go over to iTunes, rate, review, subscribe to us. We would really, really appreciate
It'd be the
that.
first one in 60 years.
Well, we could use some more ratings. That would be really, really helpful.
Or subscribe to this channel.
You could subscribe to this channel on YouTube. That would be helpful as well.
If you subscribe to it and hit the little bell, you wouldn't need Matt to send out a notice that the show's going to be on. It would just
I haven't looked in a while, but I would shit my britches if we had a review. So
I do believe we had an email this week. An email. Before we do that email, let's go ahead and throw in that other commercial break because we're all the way past.
After 11 already?
I know. So we get this email that says, what did Chris Rock find on his face in the morning?
Some fresh prints.
Fresh print.
There you go. right in
my goddamn name for the last 4 hours, it feels like.
Is it Randy?
Yeah, that was
okay.
Randy.
Good job, Randy.
So
no new reviews.
Oh, Sherry just said she did it.
Oh, awesome.
She's already done it.
She's already done it. Well, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, we would appreciate that. We're pretty close to reaching a mark. We do appreciate everybody that watches us live or subscribes to the podcast. There's some people that make this show possible. I know Chris is ready to end this show. Damn straight. Oh, you want to keep going?
He wants to stay
just a
little bit longer.
Okay, well we can hang out.
No, I'm good to go.
Okay. Oh no. Okay, I guess you guys are here with me. I didn't have names this week, but just some artwork themed kind of images. So if you could just describe what the artwork is to the patrons, okay? That's going to be the gag.
Crap.
Here's Matt's first attempt.
Now these are themed. There is a theme here. So
am I the only one that heard that?
It appears to be a longboard on top of the crest of a wave with the word "tack" written on top of it.
Don't you just say surfboard?
Tack wave. Tack.
Yeah, it's tack surfing. You know,
tack surfing.
I don't know.
Surfing.
It's a new theme. Okay, let's see if we get this one. This one was a harder one. I did this one.
I do see what looks like a shitty UFO or half a star.
Star Trek
with Eckhart written.
Is
it's either a Star Trek symbol or it could be a boomerang or
could it be a kite?
Well, we'll go with kite. I was trying to get it to be a hang glider, so sorry about
what?
Oh, okay, a hang glider.
Yeah, I know.
You a fucking artist and shit?
Yeah.
Do you teach art?
I draw these while we do the show. You know?
Yeah, take that. Well, no. I want.
Where's the drawing? Where's the drawing of your model?
We're not talking about the model. What were you?
Hey, I want you to take that to your class.
Yeah.
And ask your class, what is this?
Yeah, no one's gonna fucking know.
And I want to do it, and you can film it live.
I don't have to do what you say. No. This is
why not? I think it'd be funny.
Because the line is drawn when I end the podcast. You see, you know, I'm not doing what Oh, I'm gonna take this. I was talking on my podcast,
ladies and gentlemen.
You don't say you're talking on my podcast. Say, what is this?
Jessica or Jalen80. It's comments like that will get you banned from being live on this show.
Delete that shit.
Yeah. Because
she
false propaganda.
That's misinformation.
No.
Yeah.
You think he keeps the dead dolphins out and open for people to see?
Exactly. Okay, special order.
She in the chat says, I do want to stand up for Matt before I head to bed. Oh, good night. As someone who has been to his store, thank you very much for stopping by. There are no.
Did you buy anything? Did you buy anything, or just waste his time? I'm curious. I want to know. Did you buy anything?
Were you the lady who didn't wear the mask? You were the lady that didn't wear the mask in the store.
That's what it was.
Yeah, and then Matt had to go over and tell you to put your mask on.
Okay.
There's a basement in the store and that's where the dolphins are kept and slaughtered.
Exactly. There's a big water tank down there. Why do you think you need so much
If she came
space?
into my store, I would just make sure that I would just flip the CD, the music player to play Nothing But Drops of Jupiter on repeat. Because she hates that song with a fucking burning passion.
I like John the Retired Guy. This is what happens when your producer gets stoned.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude, Matt is.
I'm just gonna draw.
I'm not.
I like happy trees.
Completely fine here. I don't know. You guys don't know me at all.
Matt is.
You don't know me. You don't know me?
Real fucking high on drugs.
All right. Next up.
Hey, we get that reference? No. Nah.
Ed the tricycle.
Edisicle?
It's Ed on a bicycle.
Yeah, you have to describe
wait.
for the audience.
It's a hang glider.
So
It's
the word. It's the word. It's the
that was
word
the last
Ed
one.
riding a bike.
The dimensions of those handles just don't look right to me.
I know they aren't. So
Is it abstract?
these aren't okay. This one might be a stretch here, but this
Still
is
better than I could do. Maggie Bark.
Tree?
Maggie
tree.
climbing a tree.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Boom. Got it.
Was there a
Okay,
dog in that park?
Yeah.
Is there a dog in the park?
Dog in the park?
A
Dog in the bark.
In the bark.
In
I
the
think
bark.
it's like-
Oh
and
no,
the
no.
dog.
Did you see a dog in the bark?
Yeah,
You sell pencils at your place?
kind of.
Art
Little-
pencils.
little ears.
Yeah, art pencils.
Okay.
Paint.
all right.
You know.
You sell art lessons there too?
I do not do art lessons. All right, last up.
Oh,
here.
look at this one. Joanne
Yes,
on a lounge
beach.
chair on the beach. Except
Or is that a
Joanne's
secluded
lounge
island?
chair, it is not actually on the beach. Matt got too lazy. He couldn't complete the
It's
beach.
just out in the
So
middle in
Joanne's
the void. It's just in the
lounge
void.
chair is
What
actually
I'm
in the
saying.
void.
I probably have the most going on for Joanne.
Is there
here,
is there
so.
is there too
Yeah,
much? Is it
But you
sand
left
being
her
pulled away?
off the island.
It's not on
She's
the
at-
island.
She's just like
Yeah.
No,
hovering
no.
in-
I
Where's
just
she at?
There, it's white sands.
Is it no? Is it like a
No,
green
you already have tan sand around the
You
tree.
can't
Like,
tan and
Is,
white's in the same beach.
is Joanne on a green screen? She's not actually anywhere.
No. It's okay. They are all spring break themed.
Oh, so
Go
you
ahead.
gave up the answer. We haven't even
How are
tried
they spring?
attempted
How
to
was
give
a
you the
spring
theme.
break? How was
Thanks.
how was?
It was like
climbing
a
up tree
vacation.
spring-
I had
Vacation
spring break
themed.
written right here.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
This was the second one that I made. This was a
You should
different
doodle
one
like
as well.
Jack does, like a serial killer over there.
So this was the second artwork that I was working on, which is just artwork of the names, by the way.
Yeah.
and
That's
funny.
actually your best one. That's a
It
good
looks
one.
like a shitty fucking Tetris map. Like someone who really sucks at the game.
I like it. I like it.
Ooh, I
Actually,
didn't
it looks
finish.
like something. It looks
I didn't
like
get
art
to
from
finish
the 60s.
Joanne.
No, I'm not taking away from the art.
Isn't that like
it,
art
it
from the
literally
60s?
looks
It's
like
like art from the
misplaced
60s.
Tetris pieces.
Okay, well, I didn't
Am I
get to
right?
Joanne's one, so I'll try to finish that.
Don't see that crap where that Andy Warhol's going for like 20 million or something. Isn't that crazy?
Was there an Andy Warhol
Matt,
that
you
went
know
for
what you
21?
do?
Yes,
What?
the Madonna. It's the
You should
it's the
turn
Marilyn
your-
Monroe.
you should turn your Patreon artwork into NFTs.
I should. How do we do that? Like
I don't
all of
know.
our patron artwork.
I would say
I mean,
I'd Google it for you, but I think you can do it.
Weekly I make this stuff. I still have some classic ones from.
And you
from
could
past years.
issue the NFT to the actual recipient.
I would love to do that.
That
I
could
mean, I
be
make
a
these every week.
patron level like reward. They get NFTs from Hamilcast.
I would love to.
What's NFTs?
Oh God, don't even start.
None of your fucking thinking. No, it's non-fundable.
That was not. It's non-fungible tokens.
Non-fungible. Thank you. Fungible.
You're welcome.
Fundable is what I think of.
And
but I
that is a
knew it's
topic for
fungible.
another day. I don't want to destroy.
I just
Yeah,
didn't know
great.
what you guys were talking about. So.
Hey, why don't we just take all of the listeners and just let's say go fung yourself?
Wow.
Sorry, that didn't land. Anyway, if you want to send us an email and say that I'm off my fucking rocker, send it to rcadcast@gmail.com. Really
Gmail.
appreciate it. I'll read it on air, right after Randy's email.
We'll shit on it, but we'll read
We
it.
will, but with
We will
love.
definitely see that's a new tactic. If you email us, we're gonna shit on it. So fuck them up. Send an email.
Fuckaroo.
Well, thanks for joining us live, everyone. We'll see you next week. This was a great show. It was one and a fungible.
Fungible.
I don't know. I was just trying to end the show. You say
Get your fucking NFT out of your mouth.